The door at the front opens, it just flips open like that. It's been studying nettles for about 10 years. Feet is always a problem on farms. So they generally walk through nice and quietly. Whether they're inside or outside doesn't really make much difference, I don't think, really. Outside over rough terrain or stony, the small stones are quite bad. So if you've got gravel trackways, the tiny little stones, they're a bit of a nuisance. They can get stuck in the feet underneath, and also cause bruising and make them a little bit sore. But the main problem, especially with house cows which are inside, especially ours are in 24/7, is digital dermatitis, which is you've probably heard of it. For farming community, you all know, everybody knows all about it. It's a fungus or a fungi or a bacteria that gets into the heel of the cow underneath, and when it gets in, it's like an infection. They call it digital dermatitis. It's probably got some other fancy name, but we know it's just Digi. We just call it Digi for short. And that can be really painful for the cows. It gets in, gets the back of the heel and in between the toes, and it makes them really sore. It's like having raw skin. So anything that gets in there, like the muck that we're walking in, always gets worse as well. So one or two firms have developed different ideas to try to deal with this. I'll be honest with you, we've not had too much of a problem. We do get foot trimmer comes, and how many does he treat? Usually treats about 4 or 5 for Digi every time he comes, and he comes about once a month. We do try to keep on top of it as much as we possibly can. It's like I say, it's very painful for the cows, and I'll show you on this. So it does. I'll show you on this foot if she leaves her foot there. So just at the back there, they get it really sore in there. She's pulled her foot up now, so they get it really sore in there at the back of the heel there. You can see better on that one. They usually get it sore in there. All right, girl. You're all right. You didn't have to stand up. You could have stayed where you were. And that makes them really sore. A lot of it's to do with, obviously, it's bacteria. And as the cows are walking about and the surface is mucky, because, like I said, ours are in 24/7, so they can get a little mucky. Winter time as well doesn't help. And because they're walking around in the water all the time and the moisture and the muck, it gets that infection. So hopefully we've got a little bit of something that's going to deal with that, or help us to deal with it. Nothing's 100% cure, but we'll try our best, and we always try our best for these cows. But I'm just watching 537 there. If you just look at her, she's just walking a little bit stiff in legs. She's carrying her foot. You see her carrying her foot then? So she's just walking a little bit. Oh, there's something wrong with my foot, sort of a thing. What is it? What is it? You see how she's carrying her foot? Usually another sign is when they stand with it up a little bit. So she's got all her weight on her left foot, and she's something just bothering on her right foot. So that could be a sign of Digi. See how she's carrying her foot? So we've got something new arriving on the farm, a couple of things, and we need this water tank to go with it. So what we'll do, we'll get it all washed out, get it all sorted. On with our volume washer here, it's a little bit slow, it's a bit short power. So I've got this pipe run all the way on now. That'll do. We'll put volume washer pump up there next to the tank, and then it'll tap off, and then the pipe runs on there, all nice and neat. Looks really neat, does that. There's a gap there, so what we'll do, I'll put a T-piece there and take it in there, and put a nose pipe in there. And then what we'll do, we'll go on to this end, and I'll put a T in at this end, and we'll drop it down, and we'll put a nose pipe at that end, and we'll have this a bit longer, so we can wash machines off outside. So the volume washer now comes out of this tank. And that's the pump on the floor there. A lot more powerful. It's about 135 litres a minute. It has an 1.5 inch input and an 1 inch output, which supplies loads of water, loads of volume. And then these are on a pressure switch. Just turns them on and off. So when pressure builds up, it turns off. Big upgrade on the volume washer. Up here, we can use it as storage. It's obviously because of sawdust, it gets a lot of dust, but hey ho, what can we do about that? Like to see what all the cows are doing. But I've had a bit of a wash down here, look, just across the front. Just tidies it all up and makes it look a lot better. But if you're very quick on camera now, you'll be able to see what we've done. Right, we're into late morning. I'm just sort of walking around the cows as well while we're here. They're all really doing well. But we use quite a lot of sawdust. You know, some people say, oh, you're on good rubber mats. We are on really good rubber mats. They're really, really good. They're really soft. They're really comfortable for the cows. I mean, just to look at them, they just get sprawled out and laid out. And they're just so comfortable. But yeah, we use a lot of sawdust because the important thing with cubicles is keeping them dry. You don't want any dampness or moisture on at all. And you want to try and keep them dry. And this lady keeps scratching her feet on the floor there. She's had a bit of a flick of the sawdust. Out you go. Well, you're watching me now, aren't you? So lame cows don't visit the robot. They tend to lie down because they take the weight off the feet and just lay comfortable in the cubicles and make themselves comfortable. Like these girls, I mean, they're all nice and comfortable there. But if they've got sore feet, that's what they're going to do. They're just going to lay down. But we do get the naughty cows as well. Yeah, hiya lass. So naughty. And you know you're doing wrong as well, I can tell. You're watching me out in your eye corner and you know you're doing it wrong. Come on. Out before your SH1T in the back. Come on. That's better. Behave yourself. And never mind your friend. What's she doing? She's as bad. Come on. Come on. Come on. Generally what she does, she goes in forwards and she'll lie down the right way, but what she'll do, she'll turn around and stand looking out. But one or two do it and then they crap in the back basically. I know Charlotte Ashley have got Jersey setup cubicles in, which are perfect. I do like their cubicles, what they've done, but they're a little bit stiffer than ours. Ours are really, really flexible. Ours are easy fix ones and they're really, really flexible. So when the cow goes in, she can actually turn around and push them apart, and she can turn around really easily. And cows being cows, and they're wanting the soft feet again, it's all to do with standing on hard concrete. But because the mats are soft, they stand on the mats before standing on the hard concrete. It's just odd ones that turn around, and it is a bit of a nuisance, but yeah. It is what it is, isn't it? You know, it is what it is. But like I say, Charlotte's and Roy's cubicles, they're designed for jerseys. They're a little bit narrower, which are perfect for them. But they have how can I explain? They have a stiffer pipe inside where they're actually fixed on, and it makes them a little bit more rigid than these. It comes out a little bit further. They're a lot more rigid. Oh, I don't know whether the pipe's at the bottom or the top, but then they don't bend as much. And it stops the cow then pushing and turning round, which makes it a lot better for them. So yeah, Charlotte, Roy, I do like your cubicles. It's all about cow comfort, isn't it? Think of the cow first. If the cow's happy, everybody's happy, aren't they? You know, and that's what you're trying to do, the best for your cows. And if you do the best for your cows, they'll produce us some lovely milk, and I'm sure they will. So yeah, so that's it really on cubicles. So really we're not talking about cubicles, we're actually more talking about feet and feet problems. The hard part, I suppose, is knowing where to put the foot baths. We're on what they call freestall, so in other words, cows can do absolutely anything they want apart from have a party. They come and go as they please, in and out all the time, and they just wander around. So putting a foot bath up is always difficult. Originally, when we were first doing the building, we designed the foot bath scenario to be through here. So we were going to let the cows divert through the two-way gate, and then what we were going to do, we were going to put the single foot bath in the passageway here. That's one of the reasons why we slatted this area, and we could have put the foot bath in here, and then the cows then would have come round, walked through, and if we swing this gate round, idea was to come through the centre there, round the back and round and back into the robot shed, and we could have diverted all the cows all the way around, and we could have done it a couple of times a week. But we found that didn't work too well, because once we got the foot bath down here and then the cows coming round into this passageway around here, the problem was we used to get cows standing and they used to jam it all up, and they wouldn't walk like a free traffic, so it was a bit awkward really. So what we were doing, these have got put into storage now, if you call it storage. They've been thrown out. They've been thrown outside basically. So we were using these long foot baths. We were using these, and there's two there, one in front of each robot, and they're walking through, and we just to tip the chemical in, formalin or some hoof care chemical, which is quite good. That's a very strong blue colour, and that works really well with the copper in, and they really did a nice job. And the problem with it is, like cows do, they absolutely fill them with SH1T. But you probably have to change these every 12 hours. That was probably the key, and to get them so the water's clean all the time and the chemicals is good to go. Otherwise they just fill them with crap, and it just spoils it and it defeats the object. Then they're walking through crap and not disinfecting the feet. Visiting one or two shows, how can we improve on that? How can we improve on that? We looked to one or two manufacturers, and we decided in the end we'd go with a company called Hoofcount. I think they're based in Cheshire actually, so they're not too far away from us. They were the most rated one. They seem very, very popular. The foot baths seem very reliable. When I say very reliable, what's that got to do with anything? Well, the rough foot baths we've put in, they're fully automatic. This is just about due for a change now. You can see how it's fouled up. But what they do, they generally walk through nice and quietly, walk through the foot baths, and then just get a nice little dip. They've been in about 2 weeks, and I'm pretty hopeful, fingers crossed, we are starting to see an improvement. The problem we had is the space across, because it's quite, it's not narrow, it's plenty of room. But the trouble is, if you were to put one foot bath at the front here, a nice long one, it will come to approximately here, which has taken half of this space up. Yes, okay, the cows can walk past either side, but it wouldn't really work because it becomes a bit of a snag area. The only way the solution was to copy what we'd been working with, the plastic ones, and put one there and one there. It's set up for 90 cows. It won't actually be 90 cows. So every time the cow comes through, you've got a little counter up here. It's set on the rail. I don't know if you can see or not, but if a cow comes through, the little light, where's the little light? The little light will change to red. So every time a cow comes through, it breaks the beam, it changes to red. And that's counting the cows. Same on both sides, there's one on each side, one there as well. And it counts them coming through the foot bath. It empties itself out like that. The door at the front opens, it just flips open like that, and then it starts to wash. This is where we get wet. It has the jetters of water that really flush it all out, all nice and clean, washing it all out of the door at the end. There's about 4 cycles, something like that, and it's washing it out lovely and clean. We've got a rubber mat in the bottom as well, which helps. That's good. It's like a non-slip rubber mat. maybe one more. But you can see now why we needed the big volume washer, because it's got to push all this water out. We needed the power to be able to wash it out, and just look how clean that is. And it just operates on these two rams at the side. There's one on this side, one on that side, then the door closes, and obviously it starts to fill with water straight away. It's been set, it's like a timer, and it times how much water's going in. The lads at Hoofcount set it all up for us, and yeah, so it's gushing the water in at full speed. And then what it does then the pump starts. So you've got pump 1 and pump 2. We've got formalin on the bottom pump, so it's actually doing a formalin mix now, and that's set to a time as well, so it's like a dosing pump, so it knows how much it's putting in, and it's mixing it with the water at the same time. So you can see how it's frothed up a little bit now, so you can see the chemicals gone in and it's made a bit proper, and being formalin, you can smell it as well, but it's not too strong. It's not too strong. The beauty of it is it doesn't burn the feet. This is set to about 1% mix, so that's all it is, just a single 1% mix of the water. It's formalin. It's very, very low, but you can smell it, and so you definitely know it's in. And there we go, it's all nice and clean and ready to go. And then Daisy now will walk through, and it resets the counter as well at the same time, and resets that back to 0. So now it'll do 90 cows all the way through. Very simple really, but it's still a very clever idea. And she gets some nice clean feet now, and it just nicely covers the feet, and she'll walk through lovely. All 4 feet. Beautifully done. And as right on cue, the crap straight out of the back end of it. It's a bit of an habit with cows. If they're going to get the feet wet, they shit out of the back end. So at least 1 foot gets a dip every time. So if you think about it then, so if she comes through 3 times, that's like 3 foot dips, okay, in 24 hours. So that's absolutely fine. So if you walk through a cow through a standard foot bath, shall we say once a day, and they take 3 steps, that's 3 foot dips in the bath. Now the robot cows come through 3 times a day and more, so 3 times a day, so the minimum amount, they still get the same. They still get 1, 2, 3 dips every time she comes through, but it's spread over a larger time period, which I personally think is probably better. On the health side of it, as you know, formalin, the foot bath treatment solution, the chemical, it's really nasty stuff. It's horrible stuff. There are sort of health warnings with that stuff. Due to this, we don't handle it anymore. We don't touch it. We never touch it or anything, and the waste just goes to waste into the tank in the bottom. So what it does, it uses a chemical alternate. Pump 1 on one wash, and then pump 2 on another wash, and then back to pump 1. So it does it alternate. So we're doing copper on one wash and formalin on another wash. We're doing it alternate, so it's working quite well. You can set it on the dials. So we've got, there we go, we've got pump 1, got poop on it now. So we've got pump 1 automatic or pump 2, so we can leave it on pump 1 and it'll just use pump 1 then, or we put it on pump 2, just use pump 2, and we turn it off, and then we can count it, or manual or timed. So on that one, it's on count, because it's counting 90 cows, which I think I prefer it to do that way. Manual is, you can just do it manually when you want. If you, say if you want to do it twice a day, press the button in the morning, it'll change, and then press it again at evening and you could change it. So you can do it manually as well. And then timed, we haven't got this set up, but you set the clock inside and you can set it to time every 6 hours or every 8 hours or every hour if you wanted. I suppose if you use a timer, if you've got a really bad infection or a bad problem with Digi or some other feet problems that you want to do it a lot more often, if you put it on timed, it keeps the water fresher, so you're replenishing the water a lot quicker. You know, it's like changing your foot bath more often really, which I can see being useful. But I do prefer just the actual the count. It just counts the cows as they come through. So what I'll do, just to demonstrate this, I'll change the water for you, show it working again and show it refilling. We'll do that now and leave that first one alone. So that's been nicely changed, but this one's a lot more fouled up as the water. So what I'll do, simple one. If you want to do it manually, you think, oh, that's really bad, really bad, all you can do, simply press the yellow button. There she goes, but you can see all the muck in the bottom. It's quite badly fouled as well. I'm going to get wet again. Ah, that's soaked. So washing it out again, get all the muck out of the bottom. 2 or 3 turns. It nearly does it after 2 or 3 turns. Maybe could do with turning that down so it doesn't do as many cycles, because now it's clean. Really just wasting water. And wasting it and putting it in the tank and making more unnecessary slurry. So maybe he was doing maybe to 3 cycles instead of 4 or 5. So a couple of cycles knocking off. And anyway, once it's cleaned it again, door will close. It has a rubber seal around the door, like a really tight seal. The rams will pull that in now. And close the door. And there we go. So it closes the door and it starts to fill back up again, all nice and clean. Now I don't know whether he's going to put chemical 1 in or chemical 2. We'll see which it does. Right, he's putting formalin in again. It's going frothy now and it's pumping it in. And then the pump stops and it keeps rowing a bit, so it mixes it as it goes in as well. So yeah, we're being really quite pleased with them. It's definitely formalin that, because I can smell it. So hopefully that's how we're combating the feet problems. Nothing's 100%, as you know. I mean, remember, cows are on concrete in here. They're walking about on a hard surface all the time. So we've got to try and give them the best comfort as possible. And if you've got a sore foot, all you want to do is put your feet up. You don't want to walk about on it. Well, the cows are the same. They just want to put their feet up, and they don't want to walk on about on it, and they don't want to come to the robot. They just want to lie there and be comfortable. And obviously that affects milk production, and affects the yield and the health. But yeah, these girls have all had their fill this morning. Just look how quiet they are, dozing off to sleep. I mean, she's set for the day, isn't she? You enjoy yourself, girl. They're all laid comfortable. Do you think she's left-handed because she's laid on the left? Or do you think she's right-handed because she's laid on the right? Food for thought. Comment section below, but keep them funny. Just one thing to watch when we're drying them off, we're getting for mastitis. What we do, we tend to put them on training mode and don't milk them for a little while. So obviously we monitor them, make sure they don't get mastitis. We're just drying her off, so she's bagged up a bit. But yeah, they're all pretty chilled. Something coming in bulling there. That's another little thing. Cows coming in bulling, that's interesting. It's something you learn over the years. It's sometimes it's obvious cows in bulling. She's really obviously in bulling. But you see this cow, she's walking about, but sometimes they're very crafty and they're very quiet, or we call silent bullings. So I mean, she's a cull cow, so she probably is in bulling, or just coming into season. But the signs are, so if you walk around the shed really quietly and just keep an eye on the cows, what she'll do, she'll walk about and she'll sniff at other cows, and just a right gentle sniff at everything. And her ears, they tend to flap about a little bit. They tend to usually point them forwards, looking really alert. We see how she's squaring up to her. See how she's looking at all movements, and she's plaguing that cow there. But you have to determine that, are they just playing, or are they just being sociable, or is she in bulling? Sometimes they don't ride each other. It's just down to practice. But the signs are, but if we stand back and watch her, she's looking, she's very alert. She's looking around the shed all the time. She's one that lost its teat end, remember? It chopped its teat end off. I think there's a video on that somewhere. I think I did show you a little bit of a gruesome picture of that, and she damaged the teeth. If you look at her, look, she's wandering up to that cow there. She's wandering up to that cow that stood in the wrong way around. The other cow's sniffing her, look, going to ride her. Nose resting, that's a good example. You see how she's going and she's sniffing all the cows. She's sniffing at the next one. So she's looking round. So she's definitely in bulling, is that 406, without question of a doubt. Maybe just starting. But now she's coming back to this cow now because she's shown a bit of interest. And the other one as well. They're both cool cows are these. She's struggled with her feet. She gets some odd shaped toes, and she's a little bit, one of her older cows is that. But they're heavy in lactation, you know, they're on 40 litres plus. But yeah, that's an example of cows in bulling and what we look for. Now, if she'd have been at right stage, we would have AI'd her or served her and tried to get her back in calf. But because she's cool, she's sadly going down the road, which is a shame because she's a nice cow. You know, she's just a bit Friesian-y, more Friesian cow in that than Holstein. One of his older cows. But yeah, there again, you see how the other ones come up, sniff straight away. So yeah, absolutely, definitely in bulling that 406. But we'll leave her alone because we don't need to serve her. So washing all that blue tank out earlier, we got all that cleaned up and set up. We had the blue tank already and we needed a volume of water. That's where we put it up there. So there's the blue tank and the overspill, and then it's on a pipeline which I showed you me fixing that one, and then we've teed off and gone to the volume washer inside. And then the Hoofcount boys, they came, so what they did, they tapped into it again where the blue connections are. One there, and into the box. And then in the box we can actually turn it off, turn the water off if we wanted, whichever way it goes. Air operated. So what they've done with that, they've pinched an air line off the robot. It's on the green pipe there. So it's just a single green air line, and that's controlled in here in the box, and that operates the rams. For safety as well, just remembered about that. The electrics is on 12 volts. There's a transformer in the office, so it just plugs into a 3-pin plug for power, and the transformer then lowers these control boxes down to 12 volt for safety. So that's what we've done on footbaths. Hope you found our little video interesting. It's certainly going to be beneficial for us. I can see it working really well. I'm pleased so far. Signs are good. I'm hoping it's doing its thing. So I'll report back. Give it a few months, maybe 6 months. And after foot trimmer's been for a few times as well, and he's looked at the feet and he's really got in there. And if we start to get less reports of digital dermatitis or less infections, and also hardening of the feet as well, fingers crossed, it should be a lot better, and hopefully work quite well. But I'll report back on that on another video later on. It's the automatic part of it I like. You know, I'm a bit of a gadget sort of a guy, but can't you tell, we've got 2 robots, automatic footbath, yeah, and something else as well that's going up. So I don't know if you've managed to pick up on it yet, but there's something else going on in the building which is coming up in another video soon. That's going to make a big difference, absolutely massive difference to this building. So I've explained before, it's a little bit low. We do get 1 or 2 heat problems, so but we'll come back to that. But hopefully you managed to spot what we're doing. But I'll explain more about that later on. Okay guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave us some comments in the comment section below, and I'll answer as many as I can. And if it's something you're thinking about, there are 1 or 2 different manufacturers on the market, but we decided to go with Hoofcount. Simple reason is that they're more or less local to us. They seem like a good, reliable company. You can talk to them on the phone really well. Any problems with the boxes as well, you know, there's like a little computer thing inside. You can throw the instructions in the bin, speak to them over the phone, and they'll hopefully guide you through how to set it up if you need to do. But the guys, they just came and they just set it all up. They did it all in the day. It was a little bit disruptive for the cows, but it works quite well. But like you say, I mean, the cows have got so used to walking through now that really they're not bothered. You know, they're not bothered. She's got all 4 feet in there, walks through, tail goes up, and the shit goes in. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.